Hi, welcome to class. Today we're going to be exploring good body position. So I'm going to work with Mel now and teach you good body position while she's standing, and then we're going to get onto a reformer and I'll teach you how you can cue your clients and how you can visually assess whether or not your students are in good body position on the reformer. What I'm talking about specifically is neutral pelvis and neutral spine. So this area here. But of course, my body is connected from my feet right up to my skull. So my body position from my feet to my skull is imperative to be able to find good neutral body position. So what I'm looking at is what we call the plumb line. I've got Mel standing here with her feet flat on the floor, hip distance apart. Her knees are stacked completely underneath her hips or directly underneath her hips, and then her ankles are directly underneath the knees. Now I'm going to use this TheraBand to help give you a visual cue of what I'm looking for. Starting at the lobe of Mel's ear, I'm looking for what we call the plumb line. It's a straight line through the very center of the body, but we use the extremities of Mel's body to figure out where that plumb line is. So from the lobe, from Mel's ear, I'm coming in a straight line down to the middle of the shoulder, so where the deltoid slips in under the acromion process. So if I just place the TheraBand there, down to the shoulder, from there, I come to the hip or the greater trochanter. So it's the very top of the femur where the leg goes into the hip socket. And then I come down to the knee, the medial part of the knee, and then down to the malleolus, the lateral or the outside malleolus, right? So that's your plumb line. I'll pop this up here and then you can see that I'm looking for a straight line through that area. So you could really visualize that just by looking at somebody. I've got a secret for you. What I do is when my people are coming in the room, I look at how they're walking and then I get them to stand next to their machine or somewhere on the mat, and we do a couple of standing roll downs. So let's quickly do this just to remind you. I just get people to stand, centered through the weight of their feet, ankles, knees and hips in a nice long line. The front of the hips or the ASIS are facing forwards and you're looking forwards, the shoulders are just soft. Take a deep inhale while you're standing there, and as you exhale, allow for the chin to drop to the chest so you can go into a roll down, Mel. And roll on down, sequentially rolling through your spine. So you're coming out of that neutral body position. The hands just float over the toes. Take a deep inhale at the bottom and then exhale, start to stack back up. When you're stacking back up, I want you to feel that you're evenly weighted through your feet, and then you're stacking from the ankles to the knees and hips until the shoulders come directly above the hips, and then the head just floats off of the shoulders. When I get my students to do that a couple of times, I can see where they naturally come back into. And if they're not quite in a good body position, I might just get them to shift their body weight through their feet slightly and see if that helps them gain a better understanding of where their body should be in space. But ultimately, the beauty of the machines is when we lay down on a reformer, the machine is giving us feedback called tactile feedback. So I can feel where my body is in space. So when I cue my student, if they need to change a little bit, they can feel where they are. And ideally, when they get up and walk out of the class, they have a better understanding of where that position is. Now, throughout the class and throughout life, we come in and out of neutral spine all the time. We don't live in this position. But remember, what we're teaching is the good foundations of good body movement, and understanding where your body is in space is the very beginning of that learning process.